Welcome to Talk Birdie-tome. This is Australia's most popular golf podcast, with former world number 16 Nick O'Hearn, the only player to beat Tiger Woods twice in match play, and tour pro Mark Allen, who played professional golf around the world for 15 years, including a British Open. We're coming from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. Titleist is the #1 ball in golf, and FootJoy is the #1 shoe and glove in golf. And thanks to our great partners, Watch My Numbers, the most powerful database golf app in the world. Download from the App Store or Google Play. Ping, as with Nick O'Hearn, will help you play your best. See your local golf shop or professional for a Ping Club fitting. The Golf Clearance Outlet beat everyone's prices. Visit golfclearanceoutlet.com.au for your nearest store. And Better, the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. Now that's better. Now, from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, it's time for Talk Birdie-tome. Here's Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen.
G'day everybody, welcome to Talk Birdie-tome. It's another feedback podcast. So Dan, this is your time to shine. Let's get going.
Okay, we've got a bunch of questions here to run through and a few comments as well, and no doubt a couple of whacks here and there.
Any mean tweets?
Do you know what? We haven't actually had that many mean tweets.
Well, we're not trying hard enough to offend people, Nick. I blame you. Start offending people, otherwise your place in this podcast is up for grabs.
Keep the tone down a little bit here.
I know there's been some progress on the investigation, but yes. I think we parked that for the feedback pod.
Mate.
And let's deal with that on the main pod next week.
Okay. There has been some progress.
I actually thought I might have offended Rory. He might have sent in a mean tweet, but he never did.
Right.
So anyway.
Or his caddy at least.
His caddy,
maybe.
sorry, yeah.
I'd love Harry.
Harry tweeted in.
Nick O'Hearn doesn't know what he's talking about.
That's right, yeah.
He always had a funny looking swing.
He still does.
I hated those sunglasses he wore.
A message from David here, guys. G'day, guys. Great show. Thank you. Now, we've talked about this before, but he wanted to make a best shot of all time submission.
Mark, still going.
Mark, I submit that this shot here of Corey Pavin's is at the very least equal to Rory's best of all time at the Masters.
Right.
And perhaps even better. I'd like your comments, and I'm very much looking forward to playing that game at the Heath.
Do we know who the player is?
Corey Pavin.
Oh, Corey Pavin.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, he hit the forward at Shinnecock.
No,
hang on. This isn't the forward at Shinnecock.
I know the shot, though. This is unbelievable.
It is.
I think he went on to win this tournament. It's a seniors event.
Did he really? Yeah. Look at that.
Look what happens, folks.
Upside down club, left-handed.
Nick O'Hearn style. And watch this.
My goodness.
And I reckon the first bounce must have been in the long grass.
Mm-hmm.
Look, that's the greatest recovery he's ever played in his life.
Could be the greatest up and down of all time.
But it was just a seniors tour
Champions Tour event.
You know,
so sorry,
just a bunch of old boys walking around playing for superannuation money with no cut and no importance.
Mm-hmm. Situational.
And he just fluked it, Nick. So no game at Kingston Heath. Sorry, dude.
All right. Well, I had the flight booked on Virgin. I'll cancel David's flight to Melbourne.
And the hotel.
We'll get that cancelled. Okay, this is from Conrad Golf Rankings, a Twitter page. Conrad Golf Rankings.
Okay.
Oh, there we
go. This is poisonous if we start talking about golf rankings.
No.
See, this is what we're going to have to do. To counter all this, we're going to have the Talk Birdie-tome top 100, Australia and worldwide. We'll do it properly.
Okay.
Cool. You got a lot of travel.
Maybe we won't.
Well, so here's the question that Conrad Golf Rankings have asked. Is something to ponder this? Are all four major preparations the same? For example, what course truly prepares a player for Augusta? Is it so different anywhere else that the only real prep is to actually play at Augusta? Would a live event in the US be a better lead-in event to the PGA Championship than the US Open? Would a live event on a links course be ideal as an open lead-in? Is the Renaissance Club the best lead-in for PGA Tour and DP World Tour players? Yeah. It's not a traditional links course with trees and elevated greens, but has some sand there to mimic a more traditional links layout, and the coastal location is linksy. So it's a question on preparation, basically.
I think it's just the grass you play on, Nick, is all I'd be asking for.
Yeah, and you want to be able to hit certain shots.
Yeah.
Before Augusta, ideally you want somewhere where there's a lot of slopes in the fairways or mounds, so you're getting all these uneven lies, because at Augusta you just don't get a flat lie. You're always playing off some sort of a slope. You also want it shaved around the greens where the grain's coming back into you, because that's a big feature of Augusta as well. And Kingston Open used to do that. I can't remember where they play these days, but I think the week before Augusta, they do it well. You talk about a links style course, same thing. You just want to be hitting those punch shots through the wind in those conditions.
Well, that's the Scottish Open. The Scottish Open kind of went away from linksy courses there for a while. It played some venues that.
I played at Loch Lomond many times. It's like, this is the furthest thing. What do you think of Loch
Lomond?
I always played well there, so that was a great course. Should be in the top 100, I think.
But that wasn't real. That wasn't the preparation for the British Open, was it?
It was horrible preparation for the British. But look, if you're in the Masters, for most people, I'd say go there the week before and just start playing Augusta. It's as simple as that. Other courses, you can go ahead of time and start preparing that way. I think Liv ideally would have a links style golf course the week before if they're going to do that. That'd be good.
That's what I always loved the Scottish Open. Like, for instance, Wayne Riley won on Carnoustie, the Scottish Open, before the St Andrews British Open years and years ago. Perfect preparation for what we're talking about. And if you played in the Irish, I think the Scottish Open these days is a US Tour event too.
It is.
So that's a US Tour event. The Irish Open the week before is a DP World Tour event. So if you're a DP World Tour player,
you get a great lead
ideally you've got the best lead in of all time to get ready for where are we playing this year? Royal Port Rush.
Correct.
Message from Scotty Laycock.
Hey.
Of course.
Hey guys, one of the best Australian Opens for me was the 2001 event at the Grand.
Of course.
We
did ask him to say.
He came second.
I was one shot behind Appleby after 8 holes on Sunday. We both birdied 9, 10, 11 and 12.
Wow.
I birdied 14 to draw level.
Wow.
However, I then had a couple of brain farts to finish a few back, but I've been told that it was great to watch. The older I get, the better I was.
I remember it being the best finish to an Australian Open for quite some time.
Really?
I remember it being a shootout. It was just those two. The rest of the field didn't matter. I made the cut that week, but finished, my normal missed the 50th sort of spot, right down the bottom. But I've only got great memories of that shootout between Laycock and Stewie Appleby.
Yeah.
I can't remember where I finished. I think I made the cut, but I'll look it up and see where I finished, actually.
Maybe I beat you. I haven't got you.
Look it up right now, live on the pod.
What was it, 2001?
2001.
There you go, because you're better at that.
Here we go.
2001.
Or whatever.
Ooh, this will be interesting.
Australian Open.
Ost Open.
Grand.
Golf.
At the Grand.
Results.
Okay.
Here it is.
Ooh.
Oh, come on, please. So, Appleby beat Laycock by 3 shots. Ernie Els came third.
Ernie played.
Ernie Els was there.
I actually remember that.
Pamps came fourth.
Wow.
Lonard fifth. Ogilvy sixth.
Wow.
Rumford tied sixth. Richard Green. Charles Howe the third was there. Leaney, Parry, Adam Scott, Matty Ecob.
Gosh.
Wow. Thomas Bjorn played. So this is what we're talking about.
Adam Scott, my goodness.
Gow Jones, I haven't seen your name yet.
Okay.
Nitties was an amateur, leading amateur, tied with Campbell.
I finished middle of the field or something. So
He finished 32nd.
Oh, I got him.
Ooh.
I got him.
Bugger!
Where were you, Mark?
Where were you, Mark?
I've got to look a long way down. I know that instinctively. Oh, come on. Where am I?
You said 50th or something, didn't you?
Maybe I didn't make the cut. Oh, no, hang on.
This is gone
well. There I am. I finished 51st. Accurate.
Oh, well.
Missed the 50th.
That's okay. Well, that's 32, 52.
You make the cut in your National Open. That's pretty
73,
impressive.
73. Hockey sticks, 73. What a crap week.
There you go.
Let's have a look at what I shot.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah. So you shot.
I didn't play very well.
Nick O'Hearn, 71, 72, 70. You had a shocking weekend. 3 over on the weekend.
Did I? No, that's no good.
Useless.
Come on, mate.
Saturday killed me. 75.
Useless.
Ooh.
Nothing in the 60s. Unusual for you.
No.
All right.
Well, there's not many in the 60s if you look at all the scores. It's a tough course, the Grand. What was the winning score?
271.
Okay, maybe it wasn't that tough.
So Appleby 65 in the last round.
Oh, wow.
And Laycock 68, but he was better than 4 under there for a while, like he said.
He played very well. Now, I've got a message here from Dave. This is in reference to a video. I'm not going to show the video because the last thing we wanted to see is a video of some bloke having a leak. Now, this happened a while ago.
Oh.
Hey, fellas, I wanted to get your thoughts on the incident involving the young Spanish golfer Jose Luis Ballister during the second round of the Masters a little while ago, where he had a leak in Rays Creek. He was making news for this at the time, you may recall.
Yes, big news.
Question for you. Do you think he will be able to come back to the Masters after that. And have Nick, you or Mark ever needed to take relief on the course during your career, not in a restroom?
Not in my professional career. I always used the toilet.
Did you? Okay.
Yes, I can't remember, being in a stream or something, or in a tree. I can't remember.
I have not used the toilet, but I've always gone in a place where no one can see you. No one can see you. The thing about Augusta is they got cameras everywhere. So you can't hide there. So I can't remember where he actually did it though. Was he in view of the crowd or was he just?
It was down behind the 11th green.
Oh, there was a good
camera
on the
11th hole.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Down behind the 11th green
in Rays Creek. He was peeing in Rays Creek.
So everyone could see him.
Well, no, but there was a camera that saw him and got him.
The video is very easy to find. I just don't want to show it.
Put it this way, if he doesn't qualify automatically, I don't think he'll be receiving an invitation through the goodwill
he'll be welcome back if he gets there on his own steam.
Exactly.
But no, he's not
there won't be any favours given.
No favours.
Mark, you started that answer by saying in your professional career, the inference being in your...
Yes. Well, men... we have the luxury of every once in a while going into the middle of the tea tree.
Of course.
If you needed to.
Okay.
Yes.
On that note, we'll go to the turn. We've got a video Wolfpack call after this.
We got a new feature for the YouTubers?
We might. We'll give it, it depends if it works. We'll give it a go. But we're going to head to New Zealand after the turn.
Right, see you on the 10th tee.
We're live from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. We all know the number one ball in golf is Titleist and the number one shoe and glove in golf is FootJoy. We're here thanks to the Golf Clearance Outlet. They beat everyone's prices. Ping will always help you play your best. Turn your bogeys into birdies with the Watch My Numbers app. And Better, the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. That's better. Now, back to Talk Birdie-Tome. Here's Nick and Mark.
Okay, some more feedback on the PGA versus Live stuff. This is from Dobrokava. Live lovers aren't PGA haters. They're simply responding to Live haters.
Ah,
okay.
Yeah. Well, just in case you haven't caught up what the whole deal is, there does seem to be a PGA Tour versus Live on social media. And that's what, I don't take part in it too often, but you just watch it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's crazy.
Mm.
And we were just posing, are the Live people who love Live or say they love Live, are they Live lovers or are they PGA Tour haters?
You can love them all.
In that forum is what we were asking.
Very cool.
Last week you were talking about the state of origin players, Australian golfers, the best ones from each state, and there was lots of feedback, and most people, for the most part, agreed with pretty much what you guys were saying, which was good. A couple of suggestions here. Tony Fitzgerald has said, well, he listed his, and they were in broad terms the same as yours, but he also had Australian Capital Territory there, and he said Brendan Jones.
Oh, that's right. That's a good one. Yeah,
BJ.
Which was a good one.
Yeah.
And then we also had one.
Matty Millar's from there too, right?
That's Matty Miller. Yep. Yep. Closed club face at address. Did you ever play with Matty?
No, I've watched him and the putting. My goodness.
Wow.
Oh.
That's his own action.
You would never teach it, but he's a gun.
Yeah, and one of the rippers. He'd love to be paired with him anytime, Matty Miller. He was always a good kid.
Yep.
Another comment, this one from Chris, who's also said Brendan Jones, and he's mentioned Matt Miller from the ACT and Aaron Pike from the Northern Territory.
Pike. Yeah, that's a good one too.
True.
Yeah.
Well, are there any other Northern Territory golfers that Pike probably gets
None come to mind.
No. Okay. Well, there you go.
What are the courses like up in the Territory? Any idea?
Well, I know Peter Thompson's course at Alice Springs, everyone loves to play it. They've played a few state series events there. So, when Victoria plays everybody else, or WA and New South Wales and Queensland. And
I remember playing back in the Pro-Am days out at Catherine, I think, which is between Alice Springs and Darwin, I think. And then another place, unbelievable, called Groot Island.
Groot Island.
Groot Island. Yeah. On this golf course, they had saltwater crocodiles that would come in from the ocean into the creeks and into the streams and the ponds around the greens. And the local kids would be diving in the ponds trying to find the golf balls. And you're going, what are you doing?
There?
Well, you couldn't tell if they were there or not.
my God.
But the club always said the crocs used to come in and be around the greens and all that. You go, whoa, okay. So I didn't see any myself, but
the only other
quite
place,
a place.
The only other place in the world or in Australia where you wouldn't think there'd be a decent golf course is Kalgoorlie, where they have the WA PGA and
fabulous course. Graham Marsh design.
Graham Marsh design. I mean, they've got underground housing there, haven't they? You people live underground.
No, it's not Kalgoorlie.
Which
That's
one's
that's in South Australia. That's in Cooper Pedy.
Cooper
Oh,
Pedy.
really?
Yeah, Cooper Pedy.
Because it gets so hot.
Crazy hot.
Oh, in Cooper Pedy, it gets north of 50 degrees Celsius.
Crazy.
Oh, so I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yep.
Best players, one from Dale here. Where would Gabby Ruffles rank?
Victorian, right?
She's really just coming out of her rookie season.
Yeah.
So
She's young.
she could well be in this list 10 years from now.
Grace Kim is another one.
Grace Kim?
Yep.
Now, we talked about the idea that, I forget which one of you guys had, about having a TV show called The Cut, hosted by Ryan French from Monday Q.
It's got to happen.
Yes.
And Ryan heard that and he said, hey, boys, I'm in.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
So what do we do now? How do we get that up and running? What's going to happen?
How do we make it happen? I think social media just makes it happen.
Yeah, we'll
you just
figure
got
it
to
out.
jump aboard, Ryan. And
He's been busy this week because of all the US Open qualifying going
that's
on.
right.
Yeah, it's funny. The Monday after Memorial, the tournament, I used to go to the local clubs there, and when I wasn't exempt into the US Open, and try and qualify. But it happens all over the country in the States, and there's been some fascinating results. So,
I used to love trying to qualify for the US Open. I tried about 3 times, but they were always on pretty good golf courses.
Yeah.
And because I had status on the Nike Tour or the Hogan Tour, whatever it was called, I used to get through to the last stage.
Sectional.
Sectional.
Yep.
Yeah. And the Nike Tour is always pretty close to kind of Washington. So all those golf courses that, you've heard about.
Yeah, well, the ones around Memorial, there'd be 80 to 100 players, but they have 20 spots. Now, they're all tour players playing, so it was tougher. Or you go to the other ones where there's 60 for 4 spots. Now, there's really maybe only 4 or 5 tour players.
Yeah.
So you kind of go, well, which is easy to
Well, I used to
qualify?
go to the one where all the spots were.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Question from Simon here, guys. Great video, gents. Great podcast. Further question for you. What's some great swing exercises you can do when you're not on the range, particularly when you live in an apartment?
Oh, just stretching. I mean, I'm always stretching. If I've got the TV on at night, I might stretch in the morning, watching the golf, stretch at night time before I go to bed. But, those ones where you're on your back and you put your leg over and then you're trying to.
Oh, yeah.
Those
Hold it.
ones?
Yeah.
They're so helpful.
Get some elastic bands. They're always very helpful for different parts of your swing where you can open up your shoulders, the legs and all that. And even something that's useful is I've seen players do it is they get a 7-iron and they cut it in half. Put the grip in the head, so that it's the club's only 2 feet long, but you can sort of work on your grip and work on the swing and the motion and things like that.
Yeah, the little 2-foot club is a beauty.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good idea. A lot of people, I know when I was coaching, I'd just tell them to hold a club, but holding a club on the couch is a bit clumsy. You're going to knock something off.
Yeah.
So the little 2-foot club,
yes,
or the 18-inch club with just the grip,
works
fantastic
well.
idea.
Yeah, you can put your butt up against the wall and make back swings, and on the way back, you want the right cheek to touch the wall, on the way through the left cheek, and that stops you from, as my wife always said, from humping the ball because you're moving the hips forward.
Yeah, that's it.
That's kind of like your drill, your masterclass you did the other week, right?
With the 3 balls.
With the 3 balls.
Yeah,
love it.
That's if you don't know that one, go back and have a look at that masterclass because that's very helpful.
It's a ripper, that one. And someone who loved it was David, who said, being someone who has struggled with early release standing up through impact since I can remember, I've tried all sorts of remedies, and this drill mark was a revelation. I took it to the range today, and despite some weird looks from people in adjacent bays, I was flushing some consistent baby fades, not a snap hook or a pull hook anywhere. I don't want to sound too cocky after only one range session, but that drill could be a revelation for me.
That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really good to hear. Just make sure your head doesn't start coming back. Make sure your head stays in the same spot. Sometimes when you're sitting up to the top ball and you're trying to hit the ball that's inside it, not only do you move your hips back, but you move your head back. And that's kind of cheating. So you get whatever, your body finds a way, doesn't it? But so make sure you keep your head in the same spot and just move your backside backwards to give you that room.
How does, back onto your drills and exercises, how does rubbing your own nipples help in that space?
I don't know why I used to do that. I'm not going to do it anymore.
I don't know.
I'm not going to do that anymore. I don't know where it came from.
Yeah. No, we haven't heard back from Scott in New Zealand. So we'll talk to Scott next week. He's got a really, really good couple of questions for you. And And I want to be fair to Scott. I gave him a time that we'd call, and we called a bit early. So he may be in a meeting. Not his fault. That's on us. However, we're going to finish with one bit of feedback here, or it's not feedback, it's just a comment that I'm very keen on your views, guys. This is a Twitter comment from someone called Sirod Lujo. Gents, the Ryder Cup is just like the official world gold rankings, outdated. Real golf fans want the civil war. The world wants it. Live versus PGA Tour.
Yeah.
Outdated. The Ryder Cup.
Well, that's kind of silly, isn't it? The Ryder Cup.
It's one of the greatest tournaments in the world.
One of the greatest sports events on the planet, the Ryder Cup, and it's only getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's wrong. But PGA Tour versus Live, I'd definitely watch.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I'd definitely watch.
It would be fun.
But, I don't think it's going to replace the Ryder Cup anytime soon.
Rory v. Bryson.
Yep.
Scotty v. Brooks, maybe, or Rahm.
Yeah, all that.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
It'd be Ryder Cup style.
Something like a match play format. Yeah.
The hardest thing is where do you slot it in?
Yeah.
I mean, they've already got the Ryder Cup and the President's Cup every second year, both of them, alternating years. Where do you put Live?
Yeah.
Same sort of place. The only place I could see them doing it is at the TGL.
Yes.
So if you had a couple of Live teams in amongst the PGA teams, that would work if that's going to continue. That's food for thought.
Do you remember maybe 3 weeks ago we spoke about young Jasper, the 9-year-old guy who's smashing it and he's just killing it. Yeah. So I had a chat with his mum and he's keen to come on and have a chat to you guys.
We got school holidays coming up anytime soon?
I think we do. So I reckon we get him in during the school holidays because he's 9 years old. Yeah. So we can't take him out of school and have a chat to him and see what he can do.
Sounds good.
Well, if we get him in, I'll try and get Australia's longest hitter as well. So we'll get him in the hitting bay back here.
Ooh.
And we'll get Jasper to talk us through his game.
Yep.
And then
Jordan
Bobolina. We'll try and get Jordan in.
You might have to put some reinforcements.
He'll bring his own net because he'd put a hole through that screen. So he'll bring his own net. But what we will do is we'll get Jordan to talk through how he hits it so far, and maybe our Wolfpack can grab a couple of, maybe more than a couple, maybe 10, 15 yards to their game. It'd be handy.
Yeah. All right.
Good on you, folks. Nice to see you again. Look out and make sure you push that subscribe button.
And that's been Talk Birdie to Me, Australia's most popular golf podcast with Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen, coming from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. As everyone knows, Titleist is the #1 ball in golf and FootJoy the #1 shoe and glove in golf. Wherever you get your podcasts, make sure to subscribe, maybe leave a review, and we'd love you to share the pod with a friend who loves their golf. Huge thanks to our fantastic partners. Ping, like they do for Nick O'Hearn, will help you play your best. You can see your local golf shop or professional for a Ping Club fitting. The Golf Clearance Outlet always beat everyone's prices. Visit golfclearanceoutlet.com.au for your nearest store. Watch My Numbers is the most powerful data-based golf app in the world. You can download from the App Store or Google Play. And better, they've got the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. Download from the App Stores today. Now that's better. Keep in mind, what are you really gambling with? But for now, from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, thanks for being a part of the show. We'll see you next time.